Let me turn this music off. Music off.
You want to put Louis to backstage so we can bring him in?
Find my friggin' mouse.
Give him a proper introduction.
See, are we live yet? Start see Racers podcast. It looks like we are live.
You doing the countdown?
Nah, I'm just blowing right into it.
Right into it.
Right into it. Then we'll I'll run the intro.
You got it. So live is live?
Yeah, live. Yeah, Taylor.
Right.
Taylor closer.
You got it. All right, y'all. My name is George, and you're watching the Northeast RC Racer podcast. This is episode number 36, and this is our season finale episode, the Christmas silly season. Call it what you may. This is our final episode of the year. I'm here with my partner in crime all the way along 36 episode, Mr. Toby Hampson.
What's up, guys?
If you guys don't know, Toby's got a lot of work to do to put each one of these podcasts out. So thank you so much for all your effort for 36 episodes. It's, definitely time consuming. So we definitely appreciate his involvement. Plus he's got 46 RC, a wife, some kids to manage still. And, he's got a pretty strong affection for RC cars. So he's got plenty of kits still yet to build this year. Isn't that right, Toby?
Well, just the one, but I got plenty of time to build it.
Sounds good. As we always do, we appreciate everybody for watching and sharing and thumbing up and all those good things in the social media world to keep this algorithm moving. We'd like to say thank you to our previous guest, episode number 35. That was Mr. Arturo Ruiz and Adam Ross from CalRC. Thank you both for joining us. We had a really good time, and it was awesome to get to see Arturo from a different perspective, get to learn a little bit about his racecraft, and of course, Adam, all those great products from CalRC and how beneficial they are in your race program. Hit them up. I believe there's possibly that NERP code is running through Christmas, hopefully, and you guys will grab some discounts. Alan, as a matter of fact, reached out to me the other day, Toby. He's like, what's that CalRC discount code? I'm like, duh.
Awesome.
It's NERP. Come
Actually,
on.
We got to run some ads.
There you go.
Let's
Why don't you do it now?
well, let's get started and run that CalRC ad.
CalRC is your one-stop shop for all things RC maintenance, carrying everything you need to keep your vehicles looking good and performing at their best. From MooClean part and chassis wash that's gentle on your RC's components, to jet air blasters that eliminate the need to carry those large and noisy air compressors, CalRC has you covered. Even down to our convenient hide wipes that keep hands and other surfaces clean. Moose-Lick silicone, oil, and grease sprays, along with Utter Butter grease, and a variety of work mats are all staples of CalRC's wide range of products. Be sure to use the following discount code to save on your next purchase.
Oh, there it goes. Got,
There it is.
Alex Schultz and Alan Place are on board here. What's up, guys?
Sweet. What up, Alan? I know you're saying what's up. That's all right. Toby, before I get into the normal rigmarole, what's up with you, man? 46 RC. You been doing anything? You got anything planned?
No, not a hell of a lot of things. Just recovering from Fullbro last weekend, which was another weather nightmare. Cold, wet, debating my life decisions after that one. But it was a fun time on the track. If you guys haven't been down there, it was a good crew of locals down there. The whole LCRC Chinatown crew. So we had a good time. Busting balls and doing our best. I think the only driver actually came away with the podium was Dennis Brew with intermediate nitro trucking. So I think he got third. Then stayed at third for the entire race. So he did real good. But yeah, it's a good time.
That's awesome. Dennis, just to let you know, bro, that's one of the only races I actually caught. And I caught you killing it. So good job for you, Dennis. Really appreciate all your effort putting in Nitro Caddy, everything else you've brought to the sport in your short time involved. So good for you. With that being said, Vin Manchanda, welcome to the podcast.
What's up, guys? Sorry for my tardiness. I appreciate, yeah, I know. But you know what? I brought my Christmas hat. I got my hat this time. We all got our hats. This is awesome. Here we go.
That's it. I told Toby before, I was like, I spoke to Vin before we launched the podcast, and he's like, I'm set and ready to go. I even got my hat. And I was like, hat?
Yeah.
Grabbed my wife, ran downstairs, went through all the Christmas bins. I got my daughters on.
So, guys, we have a lot of comments here. I don't know if, sorry I missed the beginning, but Taylor DeLosa TQ'd.
He always does. It's like
yeah. Dude, that's
he lives for that shit.
That guy's awesome, man. That guy's awesome. Mike Malone's in the house. Hell of a job at Fall Brawl, Toby, he said.
Yeah, no. He done
okay,
the pain I went through.
Is that your filming or
Gary-
racing, Toby?
You what, George?
Was that your filming or racing?
No, I was racing.
Racing.
It's actually one of
Nice,
those.
buddy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it was nice tonight. I did lug all my shit around and just attempt to drive.
Alan
Okay.
Placer in the house. He was there, too. Yeah.
Whole crew misfits, it sounds like.
We got Alex Schultz in the house.
What up, Alex? Thanks for watching, buddy. Appreciate
Mike
that.
Egelberger. What's up, Uncle Mike? Who else we got here? Yeah, awesome. Taylor, you're the best, bro. Happy holidays to all you guys, and thank you so much for tuning in. This is awesome. I love doing lives. Can you tell? I love this stuff.
So,
It's funny.
George, we got
Yes, sir.
kind of a busy schedule. We got an awesome guest, and we also got some prizes to give away too. So,
All right, you got it. I understand. Time is of the essence, Mr. Toby. So Tom Petrella is not here this evening. You guys are probably missing number 4 in our cubes. Tom, taking care of his family. We miss you. I'm gonna miss you on this episode, and we'll get to that later. But Tom's doing great things at Rhythm, by the way. If you guys haven't been there, Tom's got the indoor setup, new facility, like 5 times as big. Got a food court with an awesome cook, keeping everybody in triple XL and RC. So definitely head down there. Great jumps, great food. And Tom let Alan and I participate on his opener. We went down there. Tom lent us his cars. We had a great time. Alan and I both. He ran the truck class. I ended up running buggy. And both cars ended up finishing top 15 or less. So Alan and I were pretty happy for never wheeling those cars before. And Tom's rides live to run another day, which is great. So, Tom, thanks again. Much appreciated. Everybody, I'm going to read some of the stuff. I normally don't read scripted stuff, but this is a really important episode to me. So I'm kind of read some of the stuff. So excuse me, not looking at you. What a great year, RC Racing, everyone, and 12 awesome episodes of NERP. And thank you to all of our guests from this past season. As I close up for this year, I wanted to bring in one of the Northeast's most valuable players of the 1/8 off-road arena. Lou Systma from Barnstormers Raceway will be our final guest of this year. Lou's contributions to indoor 1/10 and outdoor 1/8 are legendary in the Northeast, to say the least. Lou's interview is going to be part 1 of this episode. It will serve as a benchmark not only in the history of RC racing in the Northeast, but as a major influence in my RC hobby racing podcast endeavors that I want to share with all you guys. So, Toby, cue up that T-shirt and bring in Mr. Lou Systma.
Hey guys, how you doing?
how you doing?
How you doing, Lou?
Good. You're looking great.
Good to see you, buddy. It's been a little while.
There you
Good
go.
to see you.
So, Lou, you've been instrumental, to say the least, for carving out RC racing in general in the state of New York, in our tri-state local area. I live in central New Jersey. It takes me about an hour and a half to get to the barn. It's a quick, easy ride up the Parkway, the Thruway, and then getting off on 17 and that quick exit where the barn is just, it's fucking looking at you, man, as you're about to get off the road. You're looking at all the tents. You're looking at all the racing. You're seeing the track. You're seeing the tents up. You just cannot wait to get off the exit. At least I know that was me many times going to the barn. And as a matter of fact, not only am I getting off the exit, but I'm getting off the exit a little hot in turn 1. You know what I mean? So I'm coming to that stop sign, realizing I'm going way too fast. I can't wait to make the turn, pass by that awesome barn, which is actually on my Facebook homepage. for my profile, whatever bullshit that Facebook stuff is. But it's that barn with that American flag on it, right? So I pulled my truck by there one day when I just got my black pickup. I'm like, this is Americana. This is where I want to take this. And then you get to the barn, you pull in, and it's just like this old world meets new world. And I'm so excited to have you on the show. And I can't wait to hear about how you got into remote control, number one. And then more importantly, how your involvement in remote control led you to the barn and how you started what all of us have loved, or at least most of us, for the last 15 years or longer, Barnstormers Raceway. Take it away, Lou.
Well, pretty simple. We lived down in New Jersey, and it was getting too busy there. My wife was born up in New York State, and she goes, no, I got to move back up there. I said, well, look for a place that's within an hour of Bergen County. And I said, well, make the move. So she found a house to rent over in Chester. And so we moved up there. Of course, with Chris there, he was about 8 years old then. And he had picked up a little RC car. And in the back, there was a hill and stuff. So we cleaned out the hill so that we could race it back and forth and, enjoy our time with it. And then it became, I wanted to race it. And I was still in his car while he was in school and playing with it, and breaking it, and then trying to blame it on somebody else, So we both wound up getting some associated trucks. And we started playing in the backyard. Well, my son said to me, he goes, boy, wouldn't it be really great if we had a place to go and race? There's nothing around, absolutely nothing. And so I said, well, pray about it. God will take care of you. And it turns out very shortly after that, our landlady, her father owned a farm. And he goes, yeah. She goes, go talk to my father, see if they got room for something that would be work for you guys. And so we went there, and he goes, oh, well, maybe upstairs you could run a track in the big upper part of the barn. We went up and looked at it, and there was no way. It would have been sort of a carpet track. And he goes, well, I got an old farmer's market downstairs with all these booths in it, in between the poles, and that hasn't been working out for us. So we went down there and looked, and it was like, well, we could do that and then bring in a lot of dirt, and we got to have a nice off-road track, for the local kids and stuff like that. So he agreed. They cleaned out all the stuff that was there, and we went in there and started painting and ripping, and we went to all the local lumber companies and asked them. We didn't have a penny to do this at all. And they donated. We told them what we were doing, and they donated 2x4s and plywood for us. And we went in and built all the benches. And the chairs was another. Oh, I got 60 chairs, wooden chairs. You want them here? These are yours from another person. So then we had chairs, And then a guy, Gus Ennis, he worked for a big company up in New York City, and he did all the electric for it and brought that in so everybody's had a station to charge their batteries. We fixed the floors, put all new concrete on them. And my son, he poured the concrete, leveled them out, and put God in it, so that everybody knew that God did it, So that was pretty cool. Then we got a computer we found used to do the racings. We set up the microphones and the windows. We put plastic on them because what do you do when you have no money, So so we went in there and got it buttoned up, put the dirt in there, made some jumps, and made a little driver's stand in there, and off we went. We had started, and we had a half a dozen, then we had 24 local kids Then we had a defunct track that came in from the city. They were there. They brought about a dozen people. And geez, I guess we were charging people about $8 to race there for the night, you know. And we paid our bills. That's what we did there. That was about 1993. Then about 1996, we wanted to get outside because in that era, there was a lot of 8th scale coming about with the first Offnas and stuff. And at that time, we had people like Herman Olmerding and Dave Lemen, I'm sorry. And they were my locals, and they were there, and they were helpful to me very much. And we all bought, we could buy like $100 a piece. You could buy a package of 6 of them. So we all put our money in, and then we went outside and started racing 8 scale. It was pretty cool. There's a picture of Sammy. She used to run the counting systems and be in charge of it because I don't talk very well. I'm not a great orator, you know, or whatever. So that's why you got the names that you got. That's all.
Who's that guy, Lou?
This guy came in and he was doing a special on us. He wanted to show how New York City, how we had a fun place to do, to play. And start with the kids. I don't remember. There's Herman.
There he is. There he is.
Yeah.
Trevor, hope you're watching, buddy.
Yeah, good friend. Trevor was brought up in that environment, that's for sure. And Sammy was there to help us and bless us. That's really great. A little later on, Mr. B came in. He found it for his son, Michael. And he was a lovely man. And he helped and take care of us and take care of the track and the kids that worked there. And if the kids needed help, he'd work on our cars and give them his parts and everything. Well, there was a picture of Michael. But and it worked out good. Then we started a parts store out front so that the guys didn't have to worry about gearing and stuff like that. But it was tough back then. Excuse me. Just getting the batteries and stuff. And you had to gear your cars and trucks so that you could get 4 minutes and 20 seconds out of a battery, because that's what all that there was. You'd have 900, power packs. Then it went up to 14s and 16s and 2000 and 3000s. And then after a bit of time, we could run a 5-minute main, So it was in that process, because everybody had these toys, and then all of a sudden they weren't toys anymore. Then they became something to compete with, And as you've seen it more than I have, because I've been back out of it for a while, how it's grown and how everything is so precise, And you could buy, when we first started, for $200 or $300, woohoo! You were out racing and had a good time. Now for $3,000, you can do the same thing.
That's about right.
So
that's Toby's tire bin alone, Lou.
Hey, I know. I understand completely. And my son started racing. He did good. I said, well, I'll sponsor you, whatever you need, I'll pay for. And he became pretty good at it. He really did. And
that's an understatement, Lou.
Well, some of my joyous days was watching him race, how we'd get through traffic, and it just amazed me. And all I could do was like, okay, turn left, step on the gas, turn right, hit the brakes. Oh, you hit somebody. Oh, well, his problem. He shouldn't have been in my race, They had to draw straws to stay away from me. So
Chris was a killer.
Yeah, he moved.
An outright killer. And I know you don't like that terminology, but
Yeah.
I remember one time going to Motorama. It was probably the last race that maybe one of the last times you went to Motorama. It was, I don't know, probably like 3-4 years ago. or longer. The time moves
more,
quickly now, right? So I think you guys showed up. Chris hadn't been racing at all for like a couple of years already. And the story was he had bought a short course truck there, built it in the hotel room overnight,
Right.
went out and A-mained, and I think got top 3 in short course against Scooby and like a couple other guys. Like, just if you ever saw Chris race, he was like a hot knife through butter, man. That guy was just amazing. Yeah. And he never, spent the time to harness it. So it's amazing what could have been, but they're, different path. Yeah, Sorry about that, Lou.
But he got some sponsors and he flew around the United States and did some stuff with a couple of programs. And then he goes, well, and he said, okay, I'm done with this. It's time to do something else, But yeah, it was a joy watching him. He and I spent a lot of time together, and it was really good. And we tried to reinvent some stuff to keep everybody active. We started running.
Nice.
There he is.
Look at that. That is awesome.
Yeah.
I remember that paint scheme too.
Yeah. Old Joe Alessi, Lucky 7.
Yep.
Unbelievable. Yep, that's my kid.
Awesome.
So yeah, good stuff. So we started racing under lights. We got a couple lights and we raced Friday nights outside. Excuse me. Sorry. And then we set up Ness, Northeast Super Series. And nobody wanted to do it with me because they didn't want to give up their clientele. But it finally took off. I did it with Lester. And we did good. We had it where they had 4 races. You only had to be there for 3 of the 4. It was easy. We gave away huge trophies. At the end of the year, we always gave them a big spread. One year, we even had a pig roast for them. We didn't make any money on it, but the guys were really blessed, and I'm glad to see it's still running to this day. So that was our basis. And outside, I used to make more jumps and make it so hard for people. Now everything just flows and flows. I'd have them come off a double, hairpin, triple out, and make them work for it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So,
Lou, if anybody raced that, so real quick. So the first time I ever met Lou was I had basically been racing at Track 70 and a few other places. The internet still on dial-up. I ended up finding through some search. I found Barnstormers. I had no information. Phone number didn't work. Blah blah blah. And I just took a chance on the race schedule because I couldn't get anybody on the phone. But I was so determined to go race my car because I'd just gotten back into it and I was like nuts. So it was, I think, I don't know, maybe end of November. It had just snowed for like the first time that season. And I'm going up there for outdoor on a Sunday. I show up. Nobody's outdoor. I hear noise. I go inside the barn. These guys are racing in there. I'm like amazed, right? Because it's the first time back in the hobby, except I'm thinking like bigger scale because I was at some of these other tracks. So I come in and I wasn't even aware of like I knew 10 scale, but forgot about it. Short of the long as I walk in, I see everybody racing. I figure out race director, Lou's up there. I go in, I got my A scale, Lowsy 8. And Lou looks at me and he's like, I'm sorry, but, we're running 10 scale in here. That's really not the car to run. And I explained to him I drove an hour and a half to be there. I'm so pumped. I couldn't wait to get involved. And Lou is the most gracious person. And at the end of the day, he looked at me and he said, kid, I'm going to let you on the track. But if you can't wheel your car, I got to pull you off because the guys here are going to get upset. So short of the long, he let me take a few laps. Thank God I know how to wheel a little bit. And I was able to stay for the day and have a great time. And on the exit, Lou ended up giving me that same T-shirt he's wearing right now, which I have. And one of the best parts about the T-shirt, and hopefully Toby's going to cue it up, is the back of the T-shirt, which is awesome. So, that's right. We'll get to it.
There you go.
I've had that T-shirt for basically, 15 years. I leave it tucked up, make sure nothing happens to it. That one and a couple other ones. But So Lou, in the Nest series, it got big. When I talked to you the other night on the phone, you had mentioned to me that at one point the entry count was like 255. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the big events and, maybe if potentially you have a story that might include, some of the guys, Jamie Grayick, Anthony Mazzara, I'm sure Vin or Toby can throw in a few other names. Jay Bless.
We had a lot of big name guys that when the hobby first started and it came into fruition that these guys were out there and they wanted to race against my kid and then wanted to race against the other clubs that were out there. And it turned in because there wasn't a lot out there at the time. So it turned into a big event. And I said to Chris, I said, where are we going to put all these people? How are we going to run? He said, just keep signing them up, Dad. Maybe you'll get a tank of gas out of this weekend, So so we did it. Like you had mentioned, Mazzara and of course Jamie Grayick, whom I love very much. He's like a son to me. And all the guys that came with it, it was just tremendous. From what we started with to the camaraderie and the activity that was available at that time. And they just flocked to the place. I mean, we had very little parking at that time. And cars, they were stacking them up outside in the parking lot and just boom, and then we're going for it. We had the cops even show up like, what are you doing here, buddy? I said, well, we're playing. And the cops sat there and watching, like, this is the best thing since Cheerios. You got all these people and they're doing good stuff. He goes, what a blessing. And they got their cars and took off. Because, I'd see the cop and went, uh-oh, we're in trouble. But they were there. As far as the names and recalling, I just have a general overall love for what had happened for us. And sure. I know it was God sent because we put our head down and tried to do something good. And, even when the people came through the door, there's something in the Bible about treating angels unaware. It's like you don't know who's coming through the door. So you try to put your best foot out. Not that I always held that characteristic, but, we tried and had to stop a few fist fights and get in the middle of them. And people were going nuts at times, Everybody was fighting for that piece of fame. As far as the Nest series, it was a fun series. It wasn't too demanding, had great rewards. And it built a lot of friendships and camaraderie between the guys, and the fellowship there was good. As far as, Mark Chrisman and the other guy down there, I forget his name. But they were all very competitive and everybody was trying to get, what was going on. It was good stuff, Then we liked that so much, we put in Lou's half-ass gas blast, at the end of the season. That was my birthday run. And then the people are very nice to me, even these days. They have me come in the spring when we open up outside, and I pray for the facility and the people and the fellowship and camaraderie, and talk about God just a little bit in Christ. So it's a blessing there. So I hated leaving it, but it was that time. I had put in 24 to 26 years there, plus my landscaping business. I was punching in about 80 hours a week, and it was time. That's all. I've been out of there about 10 years now. So,
how many years in total?
93, I think I started it. So,
okay.
Well,
30 something years.
No, not quite, but no. Yeah, I'd say mid-20s anyhow.
Yeah.
And I'd have my landscape crew help me build jumps and stuff. They're like, what are we doing here, I said, you're getting paid, right? And he goes, yeah. You haven't missed a paycheck on us yet. So they kept coming and helping me out with it. That's all. So
Some of your layouts, Lou, were like iconic. I remember the first couple of races going to the barn, and I remember this one setup in the center that was like it was logs, right? It was this spiral, almost like spiral ascent of logs, cut off logs put together with dirt in between them. It was like the sickest thing, and I'd only seen a couple tracks at that point. It was so killer
That
that
was
after
that was my first time there. Yeah.
Oh, was it really, Toby? Yeah, you
Yeah,
know exactly what I'm talking about there.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, what the fuck
Way
is this?
way back in the center of the track, it was nuts.
yeah, that was the stairway to heaven, you know. That's what it
Nice.
was.
Nice, nice.
Well, we were the first people to, and we had Mount Chester there that everybody who missed the jump, they had no front end left, you know. So I didn't get many ballyhoos on that. And we did a lot with timing of tabletops and triples and landings. We enjoyed. We were the first people who did a flyover over an oncoming lane. And then as we watched the other tracks do it, hey, we did that first. You know, it was fun. We just let our minds run a little bit, and we said, "Oh, this will get the guys." That's it. So we had fun with it. You know. No.
You know, Lou, those stories are the best. Just what you just said, because you know, ultimately at the end of the day, somebody's got to be first in things, right? So whether your goal was never to be like the best track creator, right? You did it out of love, but out of your love for the hobby, which is how this whole thing started, is those unbelievable, awesome layouts and the following that you had. You know, religious backing. People can see that in you when they come to it. You know, it's just a place where people feel really good about themselves and for the day. But, you know, I'll tell you, you built some of the best layouts still to this day. Like the layouts in general are very racy today, right? But there's nothing like that, you know, like, I don't know. Yours were so unique. They just really stood the test of time. So I commend you on that, my man.
Thank you very much. And we made sure that, can they make that? Yes. Well, then let's move it out a little farther so they can, you know. And it was like, and these guys and all that original group and my kids, they made it work, you know, and that really stretched them to be better drivers too, you know. So
Definitely.
it was, it was a lot of work, boy. I'll tell you, a couple nights a week and then every weekend for 20 some years. Boy, you know, and I'd see everybody on the highway going by with their motorcycles and their race cars. And I'm like, and then some lady would bring their kid in on Saturday and she'd go off, you know, and we'd sit there and fix this kid's car and let him race all day. And she'd come back with her hair all messed up going, wait a minute, what's going on here? You know.
Barn babysitting.
We were. That's right. That's what we did. But it didn't matter. But we were glad to do it. We really were. So I thank you very much for letting me speak and enjoy what I was doing. You know.
Lou, it's been a pleasure. I'm sure Toby or Vinny may have a few questions for you, if you don't mind, before you depart.
Sure.
Real quick, Toby, before you ask a question, I just want to point out we have a pretty strong presence on Facebook right now going on. Just shout out to a couple people. I know you've been posting it up there as well, Toby, but we got P-Word in the house.
Oh, my buddy, P-Word, man.
Yeah. So,
I gave everybody a name, man. I gave everybody a name.
What's it mean, Lou? What's it mean?
What is that? That's.
Do you know what it meant, Lou? Was there?
No, it was his last name. It was so hard to say. I'm not good on a microphone. Because I said, now you're just a P-word.
Those of us that know P-word, we understand. We get it. That's awesome.
I got a great segue on that. Toby knows exactly where I'm going, but go ahead, Vinny.
Yeah, we got EB Mods. We got Ed Bridges in the house, remembering Herman and saying what's up. And, we love you, Lou. And
yeah, he was always great for me. He helped out my kids so much. He was a nice man.
You know what? I know what you mean. I somehow I kind of know exactly what you mean, Lou.
Yeah.
I agree completely. He helps both my boys out a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, what a nice guy. Chris would have a problem with a motor. He'd come over, slap a new motor, and say, "Go knock him dead, man," and that would be it.
He lives to see everybody do well. That guy, it's great to have him. If he's at your track that day, man, your track is good because
he's got a great heart, man.
That's right.
Yeah, I see him posted. I give him my best all the time.
So we have your son Chris in the house as well. Chris, it's great. Chris,
awesome, dude.
Yeah, we need to have him on the show. Can he jump in there with you? Is he with you there?
Oh no, he's not with me.
Oh, okay.
We got to have him on. He's probably trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong here.
Yeah, you don't have him on there with you. We'd love to see you, Chris. So just reach out, please, and we'd love to. We got Jay Bless in the house, Alan Placer, of course.
Oh, Jay Bless, baby. There you go. Good old names. Yep. I saw Kino on Facebook the other night. It sounds like he changed his life around very nicely. So good stuff. We ran through a lot of kids, a lot of young guys, and hopefully it made an impression on them. Everybody falls through the cracks, myself, but some bounce back.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of guys, good things come out of RC. We got a good group, man. We're honestly really lucky and blessed that we have some good-hearted people that really appreciate the fellowship and just having a good time out there, which is what makes it.
Joe Cotta just came on.
There you go.
His family was instrumental with us, both with Brian racing and their parents helping him. And Joe runs dirt cars, big ones, real ones. Yeah. And great, wonderful family. They were, what a blessing they are. And if you needed a hand, bam, they were there to help you.
Yep. They haven't changed, man. They're right there I see so many people walking up to their trailer, no matter what track it is, and just asking them for help. And both of them are they'll stop what they're doing and help out. It's great to see.
Smile on their face, and they'll do anything for you.
That's it. And you've brought a lot of you supported a lot of these guys that are out there, paying it forward, because you taught them right.
Oh, not me. I've had my moments, that's for sure.
We all have.
Yeah.
We have, like I said, with Alan Placer, and we got David Longecker in the house as well. Arturo is back. What's up, Arturo? Good to see you, buddy. What up, Arturo? Braden Dommel's in the house.
Nice.
I think up there somewhere we had also. I think I missed somebody. Where is it? Sorry, guys. I'm trying to keep up with all the. Michael. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your last name. Chinali. Did I get that right? I hope I got that right.
Maybe you can thumb up you.
Yeah. Joe Cotta's in the house, of course.
Sweet. We got lots of people on Facebook, guys. Thanks so much for watching and participating. Lou, like you said, with Ed from EB Mods, it was awesome. I saw that come up. He's got a lot of affection for you, which is totally great. And your nickname was Papa, right? For a reason. You basically nobody told you, but if you went to the barn a lot, Lou basically brought you in a circle. He cared about you. He said hello, come up, give you a handshake, give you a hug if he knew you well enough. BS, just he made you feel like home. So that's where the term Papa, I think, came in. Lou, before we let you go, you have a tremendous amount of wisdom in life in general, but like in regards to tracks, guys that run tracks, racers, what do you think the secret and the formula was, or what advice that you could offer new guys like even Tom, who just set it up a new outdoor track? What do you think is good advice to give guys moving forward?
Wow. I can't speak for everybody, it's most of the time it's a heart thing. For some people, it's a money thing. It's two different genesis. So keep your head down. You're going to work hard. You might get appreciated, and you might lose your ass too. But those who do good things come to them. You know, that's it. And the reason I left New Jersey with my landscaping business, it was just getting so competitive, and everybody was out there doing the same thing. And it's like, hey, maybe it's time to move up to be a Barney up in New York State. You know, so yeah. But I've got no words of wisdom. I put God in my life, put God first, and everything just falls out behind that. So he's the only way to go. And as soon as people realize that, their life is a lot more peaceful and a lot more fun and a lot more cherished, for sure.
Amen.
Amen. Amen to you, Lou. Amen. Toby, do you have any follow-up questions for Lou?
Sorry, I'm busy doing the social media stuff. No, I mean, you probably remember Jay Zellner, Lou.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, he's down in South Carolina now. But
He's down south. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just down there with him actually. But he actually got me into the barn, way back.
Yeah. He was one of our regulars.
Yep. And he, I think he came to me at we were racing on road in Menarche in Jersey, and then I think we went to dirt runners together. He's like, "You got to come up to the barn, get some more competition." And I was like, "Oh, that sounds scary." But when I got up there, you were so welcoming, and I had such a good time, and I was kind of hooked. So Friday nights were crazy, in the barn, just like crazy turnouts. Friday night, it was just,
you couldn't even stand in there.
No, it was freaking packed. Like the slash class, it was like 3-4 heats of stock slash. It was nuts.
And you didn't have to look far for a marshal if you didn't. Somebody else would jump in there and take it for you.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
We had a lot of polls there, but
really today you could be on a bullhorn looking for a marshal.
Seriously.
Yeah.
We got Keenan White in the house.
Keenan.
He-Man RC, GRC.
Try to make a track flow with something like this,
Yeah, I know.
It was tough, but hey, we were blessed. So we were happy to be there. And then finally we got more lights in there. We got heat in there. So it turned out to be a nice place to be, instead of everybody like, who's under all those thermal blanket coats, because we were cold in there, man. Sitting out in the middle of a field.
I've seen ice on that track,
Yeah,
an indoor track.
Yeah, and I would go down and set up all the torpedoes for it on a Thursday night, so that it would dry it out a little bit, and so that on Friday night it would be ready to race.
Yeah.
So yeah, you definitely saw that.
For sure.
What you got to do, right? Just extend yourself a bit, and it works out.
That's it.
Good times at the barn. Good camaraderie. I remember starting out there, and everyone was running up ready to help out. It was a great scene. Yeah. So thank you, Lou. Really appreciate it.
Well, I thank you guys for all your help. I didn't do it all on my own, that's for sure. So great bunch of guys, the early Barneys, and then what it brought to it was our Friday night out. It was like we went there without going to a bar, and we went out there and we raced and we had a good time together. And everybody couldn't wait till, you're not going to be open until next Friday? Okay, we'll make a Wednesday night race, so they could come back in the middle of the week and race again, So once it gets in your system, you want to race, that's for sure. It's hard to put down once it gets going.
You got that right, Lou.
Yeah.
Pete Martinez saying hi, Lou.
There you go. Hi, Petey. Yeah. I didn't give him a special name. I could pronounce that.
Oh yeah. Speaking of special names, Lou, do you remember what my special name is?
Oh, I do. I was on the microphone and I was like, and here comes George Kakaris. I said, this is crazy. Come on, clitoris, do it.
Clitoris.
Well, I knew the name, so I was at least one up on him, that's for sure. And Vaccaro, I gave him barbecue and the P word.
Remember, and G Word, Giancarlo.
Yeah. I miss that guy.
Yeah.
Who's this?
G Word, Giancarlo. He was kind of a
Yeah.
roundish guy, but he was a regular at the
Good
barn
dude.
and Critters. Yeah, good guy.
So
Well,
that's why Mr. B and Sammy were so crucial, and my son, because me on a microphone didn't work well. And then people would ask me, "Oh, speaking to the microphone." I said, "No, I got a raspy voice. You know, I could just yell at everybody, and they could all hear me very well. You know, so I wasn't good at that. I couldn't take all that fast manipulation. So one of my better or worse qualities, you know, it worked.
You know, Lou, I've been called a whole lot worse. So
There
I
you
really
go.
appreciate that nickname. And almost every time, you know, I would say probably at least biannually in the last 3 years in this podcast, Toby always takes a moment to remind me of my
There you
nickname by Lou. So
Nice.
I had to bring that full circle for Toby on this episode. So
Well,
thanks, buddy. I appreciate
and
it.
it was easy for me to say because I've used that before, you know.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. That's how we're all here, actually. So
There you go.
fantastic.
Well,
Lou?
that's what they call beating around the bush, buddy.
I love it. I love it. Lou, you're the man, the myth, and the legend for Northeast RC Racing. I can't tell you how much of a pleasure. For some of you who don't know, this is actually my last podcast with the boys here. The podcast is going to continue moving forward, but I'm actually stepping back from it. My life's gotten a little bit more complicated. And as a result of that, these guys are going to continue. And hopefully, as Vinny said, it may come in for maybe some support, some hosting support in the future. But, you know, Lou, for the last several months, I'm trying to put together what the last episode means to me. And some of the guys had actually said to me, hey, we want to interview you. And I thought, how boring is that, right? Because most of the people know me, so there's not a lot of detail there. So what I decided to do was I wanted to make the last episode be a culmination of all the things that brought the love of this hobby the way it has for me. And it's been a huge instrumental part from 1985, Hobby Masters racing at the YMCA, Alan Placer and his family, getting my first car, to a big hiatus to stepping back in the hobby in 2009. And when I did, it was literally like a junkie. I've never done crack or heroin or anything like that, but I can imagine, because that's what RC was for me. I can't stop thinking about it. It's part of my life. It's part of what I do. It's a hobby. And as a result of that, your involvement at the barn, other guys like Ron Borman from Vineland, for example, you guys are legendary. So what I wanted to do is, in my exit, basically just do a culmination, starting with yourself, one of the places that I love the most and one of the most influential people for me in the hobby, which actually brought the fact of this podcast coming about and working with Vinny and Tom and Toby. So I want to thank you personally. Thank you and your family, the barn, Rohan for continuing it, Chris for all the times I was able to hang out with him and race and watch him as a junior racer and see his skill. So heartfelt from me to you. I love you, pal. You've always treated me right when I came to the barn. I always look forward to shaking your hand and being there for your birthday. I got some of the best plaques on my wall in my garage say Barnstormers. And a lot of them say first and second, and put a lot of time at your track. And I am proud to call myself a Barney and a Vineland guy. So I thank you from my heart, Lou. Merry Christmas to you. I love you, pal.
God bless you, buddy. Right here, right here.
I wanted to share your story with the community, because your story is meant to be told. It's meant to be documented forever. What we do is not just playing with toy cars, in my opinion. It's a bonding thing. It's escape from reality. It's a safe haven. It's a mental reprieve. It's a lot more than just playing with cars, in my opinion. And you were a guy that created a place for us to go hide out and forget about mortgages and bills and wives and bullshit. So thank you.
You got it, guy. Thank you very much.
You hang out here. You're more than welcome to hang out. We're going to continue the show down the road of all the other places in the Northeast that I've been a part of, or other guys, tracks that lasted for 5 minutes or 5 years. But Toby and Vin are going to help me go down that walk. I would love you to be a part if you want to hang out. And if not, you can check out. That's fine. The rest of you guys hang in there. We're going to take a walk down memory lane.
Thank you, all of you. God bless you, Ben. Toby, fantastic.
Awesome to see you,
Good
man.
seeing you again. And of course, Clitoris, you're the best.
No, you are, Lou. You are.
Thank you very much. You honored me very much, and I don't deserve it, of course.
No.
But thank
You
you.
do.
Vinny doesn't like when I curse, but Lou, you fucking deserve it, my man. I love driving to the barn, and I will miss your involvement and not seeing you as often. But we will stay in touch as always, and I'm so happy. You have no idea that we got you on tape.
God bless, guys. God bless everybody. Enjoy.
Take care, Lou. Thank you for being a part.
Thank you very much.
Take it easy.
Bye-bye.
All right, so as I sniffle, because that's just the way I am, I'm an emotional guy. I mean what I say and say what I mean almost all the time. My last sentence here for Lou was, thank you for all you've done and being on this podcast, Lou. So all of you guys, he's the man. So at the end of the day, I'm going to read a little bit more directly here. I got to keep going. In 1984 for Christmas, I lucked out. I got a Tamiya Super Champ from Hobby Masters in Red Bank. And I went to my first race in 1985. It was a sponsored monthly race at the YMCA. And then from, weirdly, because this was like, 8th grade into 9th grade, then, chicks came about, high school, partying, friends, all that type of stuff. RC ended up being like, just disappeared from my life, right? And I had a bunch of cars I used to race. I used to have that John Player Special, Street Car, Tamiya Frog, Super Champ, a bunch of other ones, and just discarded. And then in 2006, my wife and I ended up having a kid, and I'm cruising the mall to get some stuff. I don't even remember what it was, but I ended up going in the Radio Shack. And when I walked in the Radio Shack, I ended up seeing 2 Ford F-150 Raptors that had tires and snow tracks. And I'm like, I'm a Ford guy. So I was like, I need 2 of those. One for me, one for my brother-in-law. Get them both, go home. Within a week, they were destroyed. I jumped every kid on my block with ramps. I literally just blew it into pieces. And then from there, I ended up picking up a Losi, I think 4-wheel drive XT or something like that. It was, or it wasn't a Losi. It was, I think maybe even a Associated or something. And then Alan and Hobby Masters, they were dealing, Lou, with MRC at the time out of New Jersey, right? So there were some Chinese, I think, kit cars that were coming in. Anyway, long story short, got back into it. But dial-up internet was happening at the time, so I started to search, hey, where else can I go with these? Kind of fizzled out in our direct area, and I ended up finding a place called Track 70. I went down to Brown Mills, New Jersey, took my my Emax that I think I had at the time, and I went to Track 70 to go check out one of their original races. Toby's queuing up some photos from Track 70. Track 70 was basically in Browns Mills, New Jersey. And it was this big open field in the cranberry section. And basically there was just a bunch of guys club racing on just regular dirt. So went out there, met a bunch of guys that were basically involved in club racing. I met my good friend Jerry Frazee at the time there, and a couple other guys, and just had a great time. I show up with an Emax, and at that time, I think like Truggies had just first come out. Buggies were still running. Toby, feel free if you want to queue up any of those Track 70 picks as I'm talking. But we get out there and there's that club running. So basically I go out there, have the wrong car for the environment, and instead of upgrading from that is Track 70 Tri-Oval. So if you look in the top of the picture, you'll see the beginning of the off-road track, and then next to it there was actually a drag strip. But that Tri-Oval, I think Alan talked about it many episodes earlier, was basically a concrete tri-oval bank, and basically guys would go out there and run concrete oval, and that was Track 70's big attraction for many years. That thing was like in its prime, I think one of the best in the country. Somehow, some way, the guys got part of the other property, built a track, and then that club kind of fizzled out. And then there was this other guy that came about. His name was Gene Sears. Gene Sears took the track over from those guys. And then basically we built the new Track 70 track. I was actually involved with Gene and a couple other guys. Marshawn at the time was involved, and we built a new layout. And part of that layout had logs, Lou. It had logs, and you know where I got the idea of logs? Fucking A right. Lou Systma right there. So it was really cool, and we got to build this whole big new layout, and tons of guys came, and we had a really great time. And then during that point in time, that track transitioned, and Gene kind of left. Some funny stories with Gene running it. One of them was an episode of, I think, Gene's girlfriend at the time, who went flying down a full set of steps during a race, and there was ambulances and cops and all that, and that was quite hectic. But the race event was pretty awesome. When Gene ended up getting rid of the track, there you go. Another guy came in by the name of Jersey. There's Marshawn right there. Marshawn from 20 years ago. Jersey took over the track and basically decided he was going to just do this whole big thing. Joey Dirt had come about and was doing tracks in Arizona, right? And across the country, getting paid to basically fly out and build tracks. So Jersey hired Joey Dirt and flew him in and basically had a whole bunch of dirt delivered to the facility so he could build this track. Toby has some pictures of the pre-track first that I want to show. And then we're going to show a couple of pictures of the Joey dirt track with the white pipe. They built that track. It was basically a superstar track from the West Coast. It had everything that you wanted from a Joey dirt course. The pipes, the elevation changes, the big drop-offs, you name it. The only downside at the time was all the dirt Jersey imported basically had concrete, rebar, and big blocks sticking out of it. So racers came because Joey Dirt built the track, but then quickly it fizzled out because of the fact that a lot of guys, I don't want to scratch my chassis or catch a piece of rebar in my back arm, Vinny, you can't take a piece of rebar in your suspension setup. I mean, come on, grow up. But nonetheless, there was some epic racing there. That first layout, that first opener was awesome. But I just wanted to talk about Track 70 and show a few pics before we go on to the next track in the lineup. But a lot of guys that I knew, like Jerry Frazee, Alan Placer, and his son Connor used to race there all the time. And probably a bunch of names I can't even remember, guys that I've seen at Vineland and a bunch of other places. But Track 70 was... So that is actually building the new layout before Jersey took it over. Ben White, if you're watching this, you provided these photos. I did a deep dive and found it. You had posted these. That was awesome. I remember doing it. And then Lou, if you look at those camelbacks right from the barn, man, I think literally I went from the barn to Track 70 because I was like, no, we got to build it like the barn. That lower right-hand picture with that guy in the Scully, that's Gene Sears right there.
Yeah.
Gene was either fully in like you've never seen or just gone. Had some of the best equipment, but never like getting him dirty. So that means he didn't race much, but when he did at the tail end, I think maybe like 5 years ago, he popped in again. He did pretty well. And Gene, come back. It's a good time, man. You're always a good, fun guy to hang out with, and you got a Greek wife. So
yeah, he's been running his kids in motocross and stuff too.
He loves motocross.
Yeah.
So this is the Joey Dirt track. So this was Track 70, that same track, except I think 100 tons of dirt were brought in. And Joey Dirt created this awesome creation, and it was awesome for a bunch of races. And Jersey definitely kicked it up a big notch. But unfortunately, like a lot of tracks that all of us go to, they don't have that secret sauce that you had, Lou, or Ron from Vineland had, or Trains and Lanes stability with the hobby shop. So quickly this dissipated and again became a vacant lot. And this was awesome. It had a tri-oval drag strip in the back, and then this giant off-road course. And then there was a building up front. And Gene, when he owned it, had a bull ring inside. So there was indoor racing, like flat track oval for a little bit of a while. So that's the quick history on Track 70, some of the track pics. You guys have heard about the track before, but I wanted to take a minute and just show people some of the images of what made it awesome, and a whole bunch of guys out there that called it home for a couple of years. With that said, we're moving on to the next one in the list. And I got to go to my notes real quick because they didn't print out full. Blah, blah, blah. So the next one is a place called Checkerboards Raceway in Malaga, New Jersey. So that track was located in the front yard of the owner's house. I was lucky to meet great racers there like Jack Evanchek, Jim McLaren, John Bavona, Fred Perkins, and many other guys. But these are guys that I met at that time. So this track was not too big as it was in the front yard of the guy's house. His wife was actually the money collector. She smoked a cigarette at the same time as she was collecting money. And the old man was like there and took care of it. He was kind of like Ron Borman. Those two tracks were only about 20 minutes away from each other. So it was kind of like a weird scenario. I guess one ran on Saturdays, one ran on Sundays. But this guy had an awesome track. And it was the first major double that I had seen. So now I went from my Emax. And because I was locked in a Traxxas mentality, I went from Emax to, what do you think, Vin, after that?
I mean, I'm hoping it's going to be a team associated.
No, it was an E-Revo. So this is not me or my car, but that's, I ended up, Jack Evanchek, I reached out to him like last night, actually, I think at 12 at night. Holy shit, that's Jim McLaren sitting on that chair. I can tell even blurry. On the left, and Jim's racing at Rhythm these days. Toby, what kind of car is that in the air? I know you know.
It's probably an Optima, I'd imagine. Something.
Damn right that is. That's an Inferno right there, buddy. So or I'm sorry, wasn't there a? Wasn't it?
Optima was big then.
That's an Optima. I'm confusing it. I thought the Optima was the Inferno, but you're right. I'm wrong there. That's Kyosha. That's bad for me. Don't repeat that. But anyway, awesome car. And back then, that was like the awesome car to run at the track. But anyway, Checkerboards had this awesome layout. They had this big double that was there. It had a big step up in the back. The tracks weren't big. They were small. One guy had to manage them. But it was the guys that turned out, right? It was that little club scene. You rolled in there. You were seeing guys. For me, it was the first time or first couple times. But you roll in there, and hey, there's Jim, there's Jack, there's all these guys, and it's the same reason like we were talking about before. It's that club racing feel. It's some of the things I mentioned earlier to some of the other guys. That was the main reason why I used to go racing on Sundays. It wasn't like this big event. It wasn't a trophy day. I wanted to go hang out with these new friends that I met, have a good time, laugh, and compete, and feel really good, and see if I could compete at that same level as some of the fast guys there, and try to achieve that and have fun along the way. But Toby, do you have that video? It says E-Revo. So Vin, I didn't get an associated. Instead, I moved up from an Emax to an E-Revo, right? Instead of going, hey, what are those lousy trucks everybody's running? Nope, I was kind of stuck in the Traxxas mentality. So I show up at Checkerboards with an E-Revo, and I got a quick video from 15 or 18 years ago with this E-Revo doing the double, and I landed pretty slick. So just want to show that real quick, and then we're going to move on to our next track in the lineup.
We should sneak in a quick little Nitro Caddy ad in there.
Do it. That might help Toby look for it. There it is.
There it is. 1 second. So fucked up. There it is. Whee, did you see it?
We see the email with the thumbnail of the YouTube video.
I'm all out. I'm all lost. Carry on.
Do you want to throw the Nitro Caddy on, and maybe you can cue that up before we hop in the next one?
Yeah, let's do that. Alrighty. So yeah, one of our 2025 sponsors. We actually have a giveaway for from Dennis Brewer. Actually, he's very generous. It's going to be giving away a bump master and a couple of substicks. So we're just going to quickly run his ad.
It's a starter box adapter plate. I got tired of the pins moving on me with the boxes. And what this plate does is it affixes the four corners of your chassis to the starter box.
Lou,
Right.
do you know that Nitro Caddy is more than I would say, and if Dennis is watching, Barnstormers has got like 80% influence on that product being brought to the market and created. I met Dennis Brew. He was just showed up at Barnstormers, just started running electric with me and Alan and a bunch of other guys, and then he started doing nitro. I know Dennis lives actually closer to Dirt Runners, but you know, they weren't running A scale to my knowledge at the time. So I think that's why he showed up at the barn. So yeah, man, another product of the barn right there. Nitro Caddy and the Bump Master. Can I tell you, Lou?
There you go.
There you go. All right. So Toby, were you able to queue up that vid? Come on, you got to show my E-Revo sailing.
I do. 1 second. Guys should have it there.
Here we go. Watch this, Vin.
Whee, look at that.
Send it.
baby. Send it.
Hey, not easy with an E-Revo, right?
Yeah, seriously.
Anyway, not to mention that was a triple within like, I don't know, 15 or 18 feet. It was like, you know, not 85-degree incline, very easy to just send it into the woods. But anyway, awesome times. That was Checkerboard Raceway, Jack Evanchek, and all the other guys I mentioned. Thanks so much. I hope you guys check this out, and it brings back a memory. From there, we're hopping in our car and heading sideways on the Parkway. Toby, if you could start to queue up some of the Vineland stuff. Ron's photo as an example. So one of the other things I wanted to do that's huge, right? Half of the time I spent racing, I would say, was at the barn, and the other half of the time I spent racing was actually in Vineland. So I ended up finding this track down in Vineland the same way I found the barn, and you know, I pull in there, and a lot of this we covered in some of the previous episodes, right? Roll in and see this guy, Ron Borman, and then Linda Vogel.
About the barn.
So Ron ran the track. Can you mute him, Toby?
Oh, so I was on.
So you pull in, right? And Family Hobbies is Vineland, Family Hobbies Raceway. And that was located basically behind this deli and strip mall, small piece of property and small flat track, almost had bocce clay dirt. It was like abrasive, but stayed together at the same time. And there was the skinniest guy you ever saw out there, ornery as a bull. And his name was Ron Borman. And if you got to know him, you either loved the guy or you couldn't stand him. And same thing, you know, it was real easy to know if Ron liked you. If he liked you, he busted your balls every minute you were there. And if he didn't like you, you weren't even there. You paid your fee, and you know he left you alone unless you did something stupid like get in his way or said he was the one driving wrong when he crashed into you, as an example. But those people were instrumental in my love for RC. So there's Ron Borman right there. He's second from the left. Mel is all the way on the right. I think Bob I is on the left. And the short, stocky guy, I can't remember who he is. But, yeah, Mel Shell's on the right. But Ron Borman, that's right there. He's the legend. Toby or Vin might even do a quick Google search. I always get it confused. But Vineland actually hosted the first, I think, IFMAR 1/8 off-road electric race. Lou might even be familiar with it also.
Yeah.
But right? So.
Yeah.
10 scale, I think, right?
10 scale, yep. So basically, Ron had, I think Ron was racing probably 10 years before Lou at the barn. So he had this like secret sauce already going. His track, like the jumps weren't anything insane, but he had these things called Borman bumps everywhere. You couldn't see them because the bocce clay just blended everything together. But next thing you know, you're going around a turn and boop, your car is over on two wheels off on its side. So Tom Petrella does a lot of that today, and he carries on that same tradition from down south Jersey racing. But I'm definitely from the school of Borman Racing and Barnstormers for sure. So in this track, Toby's showing you the layout, and then the driver stands in the back. It was like a concrete structure, and then Linda Vogel was R&D, and she obviously took care of things from there. But if you know anything about Ron was the type of guy that I think was already retired at the time for whatever degree. He used to be, I think, a sheriff in Vineland for a number of years and then retired or something like that. But he would be out there, and he had like this 2x4 setup, and it would be long enough so that it literally went from the outside board to the inside board, and he would drag it along. And that's how he got everything perfect. It was like a skating rink, except for the Borman bumps and the jumps. And killed it, man. I mean, Anthony Mazzara raced down there, all the top guys. Go down there to just experience Vineland, not so much races because it wasn't as big as the barn or trains and lanes, but Ron had something going on in his formula, the way he created a track, the races. And then Linda, I'm sorry, guys. Linda is the number one RD. Nobody has called more races than Linda Vogel. And as important for me was the Barnstormer segment is this segment here. Linda was on time. Linda didn't mess around. She called your name. She got you out if she needed. Most guys went marshaled like they did for Lou because there was full respect there. But Linda was no joke. I guarantee you she's called probably second to Scotty Ernst. And that's a big treat. I mean, we're talking 25 plus years every Saturday or Sunday or weekly races that they'd have for the club. Hardcore. Linda was awesome. I love that lady. And she's still around. I wanted to have her on the show as well, but she wasn't feeling up to it. But I wanted to take this time to document her image and Ron's image and the story about Vineland. So Vineland used to have some unbelievable races like Lou had. Vineland had, I think, their biggest race every year. Lou probably even knows it. It's called the Eastern States Challenge. And if you were an RC racer, you went out of your way to go to Vineland in the Northeast to go to the Eastern States. That's for sure.
Funny story there. I went to Vineland for one of his big races, and I was out there on the track, and a guy bumped me. My car flipped over and went into the inner port, the infield. So he's standing there, right? But I landed on my wheels. So I drove over and parked my car right in front of him. He didn't look down. So I just hit the gas a little bit and bumped his foot. He looked down, he got all mad at me, picked up my car and threw it off the track. I was like, what are you doing? And that was it. And he was mumbling something, and I was like, I walked off the driver's stand with my head in shame. I was like, well, I didn't know. What the heck, But I couldn't believe what he did for me.
Ron was like the complete opposite of Lou if you went to the track, right? But each guy had his own, personality and the reason to go there. But the one thing about Borman and Linda was they didn't mess around. So Eastern States came around, there were sign-up sheets and there was clipboards and there was a program and there was a schedule and there was maintenance. And, Ron had a reputation to uphold and Ron was serious about RC racing. No joke. Like he was very serious about it. And he knew all of the major players in RC at the time, like Gil Losi, Trinity, MRC. Alan could fill in the rest of the names for me because that's probably about the extent. But he knew all the top brass. He knew all the main manufacturers because he was like a pioneer in racing, and hence why he had that first IFMAR race. Anyway, lots of awesome races. Toby actually has a video, one of the races that I ran in truck that I just wanted to show you guys a little small clip of it. This is an Eastern States race, I think in 2015. So we're talking 10 years ago. I think I'm driving a Techno truck that I ended up getting from a guy at Motorama through the help of Alan and a quick sale on my Losi while we were there. Went to Motorama with my Losi, came home with a Techno. That was a funny trip, but got a pretty quick vid. And then I think Toby's got a few more shots of like the driver stand. and a T-shirt from Vinyl, which I have in my closet along with my Barnstormers T-shirt.
Oops. So I'm like resting 10,000 different windows here.
By the way, I was up to like almost 1 o'clock last night, and I sent Toby like 50 emails.
Yeah, you did. Can't remember that layout.
So I'm in the lead right there in my techno. Mel was doing my bodies back then. All those little Borman bumps everywhere, even through there.
Yeah, it's a fun looking layout, right?
Yeah, it was all. I mean, look how many Borman bumps right in there, man. You think you get on the gas, next thing you know, your truck was sideways.
All right.
So much fun. Great race. Alan, thanks so much for coming with me to so many of those races there, man. Had such a great time. Such a great time. Anyway, Barnstormers, Vineland, Ron Borman, Linda Vogel, Lou Systma. That's the reason why we're all here, and that's why we have such great stories. And that's why on my final podcast, I want to document these things before I split and come back and share some new stories. From there, at the same time, there was a place called South Jersey RC, and South Jersey RC was basically about 15 or 20 minutes away from Vineland. It was an indoor facility. It was inside a Scott's paper factory. We talked about this a little bit in some of the previous episodes, but I got a video I want to show. And basically, we were so fortunate to have this facility, I think, for like 2 or 3 years. I think 2 different people rented it from the Scott's company. But basically, you went in part of the old warehouse, and on one side was like 100 feet long or 150 feet long of just plywood tables, no heater. So you went, you froze. There was heat in the race area, but no heat in the pit area. But there was like 150 feet of like plywood tables where everybody hung out, and then inside here. So this was like white clay, and it was sick. I think I'm driving.
They before they had white clay, it was like kind of like a baseball style clay, right? It was more sandy. It was really good then. That was my first race there, and then they put this kind of ridiculous clay in, which was immovable. It's still cool, but like really hard to work with.
It was impossible to work with for sure.
They put the same stuff in tap, so it's just like a rock. But it was a good time.
Oh my God, what's his name? Bill. What was his name? Bill. So many guys I see in some of these videos.
A young kid, I think, who ran it.
Anyway, so Linda from Vineland was actually R&Ding here. Ron just showed up to run and basically just, have fun with them. But it was such a great place. We got to race there all winter long, and we got to race our A-scale cars there like hardcore. Like that back section was, you can't see it in the video, but it was probably banked like 3 feet up against the wall boards. So you'd come around and it would just be this big sweeper coming around and then fighting for the inside. So much fun. So much fun. I was driving a first generation Techno, and oh my God, that thing was so loose. I think there I am right there. You just watch the back of the car; just can't even stay in line. But anyway, such good times, great racing, and the RD booth is in the back, and it was huge in there. It was huge. Like you could get in there, and as you can see from how many lanes, it was crazy. And then, like the rest of them, that Bill Sorley, there it is, pull that one in.
Right. That's right.
Yep, Bill Sorley was the last guy that ran that one. He had a landscaping business too, I think, like you. And then I think he liked, bigger things, race vehicles. But nonetheless, then this place closed up, and that was it.
Yep.
Before we end up going to the next one, can you do me a favor, Toby? In the emails I sent you, there was a picture of Greg Harmer with a red circle around him in Vineland.
Greg Harmer?
Yeah.
All right. Keep talking.
In one of those pictures. So getting back to this, right? So all of these race places like Barnstormers, like Vineland, like South Jersey RC, like Trains and Lanes, right? They produce these little miracles, I like to call them, right? And you got guys that pop out of it, like Greg Harmer, right? So I found a picture through going through some of the Vineland stuff, and I see a picture of the driver's stand with people on it. And as I look at the picture, I'm like, there's Harmer, except Harmer was like 12. So you look at Harmer learning at the Ron School of Racing, and then you look where he is now, and there you go. Vinny, Got any questions? Just trying to make sure you're alive over there. So
I'm good.
going good, man. Anybody on Facebook? You want to throw anything out from there? Any comments?
Yeah, we got Sentinel RC joining us. Looks like he's going to be doing some track days with Gary Terry at Tom's track. And yeah, B Main RC, the sweet track. Yeah. I think we have some Cow RC ad to do, and we got some giveaways to do as well.
Yeah, we did
When
the
you-
Cowsby. You might have done that before you got here, Ben. I'm not
Okay,
sure.
okay.
So we do have some giveaways, so we've got to fit that in somewhere, George.
You want to work that in now? You want to work it in between the next one?
Yeah, I mean,
You tell me.
I basically came up with some questions in a vacuum this afternoon, given the fact that this has taken absolutely about 5 seconds to prepare. So we have
Doing good though, Toby. Doing
yeah, hanging in there. So we have a couple of cool things to raffle up here, and I can't click on my 10,000 windows I have going on here. So HowRC has been generous enough to give us a product that we're going to raffle up here. Give me a second here. I will share my screen or not. Sorry, I can't do that. Anyway, we have a 24 by 30 inch screw catcher carbon series pit mat together with the magnetic oh my god, I'm buried in Windows. The magnetic mat also. So it's a retail close to $100 mat here, donated by one of our 2025 sponsors. So it's pretty cool prize. So I'm gonna basically ask a quick question. Any of the regional guys will know the answer to this. Yeah, I think I've exhausted the number of windows. Anyway, so here we go. Let's see how many people we have. We have 16 people online right now, and some comments. Oh, Max Now. Wow, that's a name. I haven't seen you in a long time, Max. Good to have you on here. Anyway, so the question is, and it's going to be a regional question: which driver has won back-to-back expert nitro buggy races in 2024 and 2025 at the Mugen Challenge LCRC? First person gets the prize.
And this is for Cow RC magnetic, gigantic, black, unbelievable, awesome pit mat.
It sure is. I don't know why I can't share this window. Anyway, so repeat the question. Which driver won back-to-back expert nitro buggy races at 2024 and 2025 Mugen Challenge LCRC? P-word. You got it. Yeah, it's P-word got in there with the
Nice name.
answer. Yeah. Good word. Not Harmer.
P-word. Good
not
to be
Strapper.
loved.
Mike,
Congrats, P-word.
Mike Sinanelli was just a second short. So
Sorry, Mike.
yeah.
What's up,
we
Mike?
got 3 more things to give away. We have a couple of prizes from Nitro Caddy, a bump master, and some stop sticks, and we'll do them in a few more minutes. Over
Hey,
to
if you guys get a chance, by the way, if any of you guys watching can share the podcast, I would really appreciate it. So with the guys, anyway, awesome product. P-word, awesome guy to win the product. Awesome.
Good
You guys
man.
doing another one right now, or are you doing it in a few?
That's the thing. Finally got the window.
There you go.
There you
So,
go.
you know,
Nice.
that with the magnetic tray, you're looking at about $100 price. So
Cool.
appreciate the guys over at KRC for throwing it in. We had Adam Ross in on our last podcast. You guys should check it out.
Thank you, Heath. Appreciate it. Yeah, hit up CowRC and and use our code NERRP, right, for
Yes, sir.
10% discount at any point.
Yes,
So
sir.
if there's other stuff, they sell a lot of really cool stuff, and I'm sure if you browse their site, you're gonna want something. because it's really useful stuff. We use like all their stuff. Heath was very generous to do the giveaway. Adam as well. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, as we're in the giving away spirit here, I'm gonna attempt to bring up another window.
Ho ho ho.
Ho ho ho.
Cool.
All right, here we
Keyword
go.
Needed that. I put holes in my.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't jumped onto the current trend and pretty revolutionary product that Dennis came up with, a Bump Master plate. So if you're a nitro guy, which nitro racing is the best racing, you attach this thing onto your starter box.
You're relentless, Toby. You're relentless.
It's a no-brainer setup. So you don't mess around with your pins or nothing. You don't run up to the to your pit lane and you can't get the box going. You got a pit guy and he's not sure which way the car goes on the starter box. Got big ass arrows telling you which way is forward. That's a no-brainer. So it's been popular. I have one myself from the onset. I love it, and so it's for all manufacturers: Associated, Sparco, Yosho, X-Ray. Heck, maybe even a Losi. Who knows? Nobody runs them anymore. So we are going to do the same thing, and I have an awesome question. Maybe a little harder. Guys are going to have to Google this one. Which driver was the 35th IFMA champion for Team Associated in 2025? I know Vin will like this one.
Do 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 do.
You guys are going to have to Google. First one, you can pull up the result on this one.
Come on, someone.
Come on.
Easy one.
Nitro Caddy Bump Master. I actually just bought one for my buddy Jay because his starter box is an absolute fucking hot mess. And
yeah, Mike Malone.
It's not, Dara.
It wasn't?
No.
Well.
think back to Australia. Yes.
Okay.
Marcus. Pete Martinez got it.
Ah.
Nice, Pete.
Yeah, Marcus Carup. He won. He actually won the 8-scale e-buggy race. He just got beat. B-main RC. He won the e-buggy race in Europe, and then he took forward drive buggy in Australia.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Congratulations, Pete.
Good question, Toby.
Yeah. Right.
Really good. Yeah.
Pretty hard. We got a couple more things to give away here. I will just quickly pop up the window.
Yeah, before you get involved again, I want to thank you for all your love that you showed me. You really blessed my heart. I'm going to kick off now, but I just thank you for all the nice things you had to say about the racetrack. I appreciate it very much. God bless you all.
Lou, Merry Christmas to you.
You too.
Your family, your extended, Chris and his family. You guys are both instrumental. The whole RC community, I'm speaking for them. We love you, buddy.
Okay. God bless
Thank
everybody.
you. God bless.
All right. Thank you. It was very nice.
Good, Lou. It's awesome.
It's our honor.
Thanks. God bless. Bye-bye.
Take care, Lou.
All right. Let's finish up these giveaways. I just shared the screen again. Window. So Dennis came up with another cool product this year, the stop stick. So your car comes into pit lane, it's lean as hell, the engine's screaming. Just pull this little sucker out of your pocket. You can either have the option of putting that little red blob on there on the pipe and basically stalling the engines out, or you can the rounded edge you can put on your flywheel and cut the engine out. The other idea is you have a runaway, same thing, you have this thing in a pocket, you grab the car, you slam it on the flywheel, and it will stop the engine. So a pretty simple product that, fits the bill. Like I said, I have mine in my pocket typically when I'm racing, which is fairly not very often these days. Anyway, so next, got a couple of questions. There's 2 of these to be given away. So the question is, the Big Apple Challenge was run at Barnstormers back in 2015. Who was the title sponsor? Let's see who comes up with that one. Got a little history of the barn. We're switching over to Rohan now, who's running the track then in 2015. So I repeat that again. When the Big Apple Challenge was run at Barnstormers 2015, who was the title sponsor? I believe Adam Drake was there in that race and various races after 2015.
Might start with an M, maybe.
Charlie McNeil. That's a name. What's up, Charlie? Nope, not Mugen.
Oh my God, that is a name. Holy
yeah, right.
Crikey's.
I was always so impressed with Charlie short course. Charlie McNeil, you got it, buddy. Nova Rossi. That's right.
No shit. Good.
Yeah, man.
Guy comes out of nowhere and takes the question.
Yeah. Go Charlie.
He probably doesn't even race, but it's great to hear your name. P-word, you're too late, mate. All right, so we got one more stop stick to give away. This one might be a little easier. So the last question, last stop stick. So which 2 drivers were disqualified in the 2021 Fuel Nationals at LCRC?
Oh, fear.
Nope. We got 70 people online here. Which 2 drivers were disqualified the 2021 Fuel Nationals at LCRC? That was back in the day when it was just fuel, which was, awesome. None of this e-buggy shit.
Thank God I'm retiring.
That's right. P-word got it.
P-word.
P-word cleaning up today.
Clean up.
You're banned.
Get out of here.
You're out of here, boy. All right, that's it for the giveaways. I would appreciate everyone participating, and thank you to CowRC and other sponsor,
Nitro Caddy.
Nitro Caddy.
Thanks, Dennis.
Thanks, Dennis.
Awesome.
So, as we continue to go down this road and trying to keep this podcast short, so we're almost done. This is like a constant battle between Toby and I. I got this reindeer on my head all night. Let me lower my chair. So I'm racing at a time where everybody's running nitro and there's a few electric cars. I started with electric. I grew up racing electric. I really had no interest in nitro. I know that upsets some people. But at the end of the day, electric was the thing that really did it for me. And in the beginning days, electric, it wasn't plug and play like it was today. It was like plug in, hope that shit works. So it was a lot of trials and tribulations of running different types of voltages, different speed controls from different manufacturers. There was no Tekin, there was no Hobby Wing back there. We were running these big Novak speed controls and motor combos built for monster trucks, coming up with these hybrid combinations. And the long story short, I wanted to run electric with at the same length as the nitro guys. And we're talking like 15 years ago. So I set out to basically come up with some hybrid rigs where I could run my truck in a nitro race if the proprietor would let me do so. And surprisingly, right, I used to go to Violence so much back then that Ron Borman basically would see me show up, and I kept talking about how I wanted to run my electric truck in a 25-minute main. And he said to me, it's not possible. It's not possible. It's not possible. Well, tell me it's not possible, and it's going to happen. So to make a long story short, I set out on this big endeavor to basically make my Losi 8 truck an e-truck with a quick battery change on it. And I went through a couple different versions, and Toby's got I have pictures of 2 versions out of 3. My third version was the final. The second version, I think, was this box design, and Lou Systma ended up receiving it. This was this is actually the final version. I don't know if you can go back, Toby, before you play that. Yeah, that's right. We'll play that one again in a second. But this was basically my Genesis. I want to go to picture 1 if you can find it first. So picture 1 was basically my truck, And at that time, Lowe's came out with their first electric buggy. And basically, if anybody remembers, it was just big flat plastic plate with a small little reveal on the sides that held the 4-cell so it wouldn't come out, and there was like a plate on top. So my idea was basically buy 2 of those plates, make them a sandwich. And then inside that sandwich, I lined it with like 3/4-inch brass flexible strips. So you got this sandwich that's open on one side where the battery went in. So basically, I ran the electric strips around 3 sides of it. There was only soft packs at the time, no hard packs back then. So I took a soft pack, which was crazy in itself to run in a truck from, impacts and stuff like that. But basically took that pack and did the same thing, took the same brass strip and wrapped it around 3 sides of it, and then basically wired it into the connector. And that would slide into the hybrid basically assembly that I made. That wasn't too reliable. Anytime I hit a jump or there was an issue, basically it would come disconnected. And if Toby can find the picture, basically there was just an aluminum door on the side that was like on a pivot. So there was like a pin. You'd pull the pin, you lift up the lever, pull the battery pack out, which was basically a soft 4-cell pack with a zip tie around it. And I would come in, and Alan and I were racing at the time with his kid, and Alan was always pitting me. So half the races I wouldn't finish, half the races I would, and pretty decent, or there would be some issue. But I went through this genesis of trying to, build a better mousetrap. The second version was like this piece of box aluminum that I got that was the same size as a 4-cell. And basically I took this box aluminum and I mounted it in my car, and it was on a swivel. And inside the top of the aluminum box were the pickup leads that were wired to my ESC. And then I take 4-cell hard cells had come out at that time, and I put 2 pickup strips on the top of the battery. So when I slid the battery into the box aluminum, literally 3-inch box aluminum square all the way around, that's where the contact would pick up. That would slide in and pin. That worked better than version 1, but wasn't as successful. So then my friend Jerry Frazee, who's hopefully watching this, or I know he'll watch it this week, he came up with this because he was an electric psychopath like myself. So this is a Traxxas connector, 2 of them, cut in half, epoxied, and glued together. Well, this is actually what made version 3 so successful. So the ESC plugged into these ports right there. It's all good.
I've lost.
It's all good. So the ESC plugged into these ports there. And then there was this swivel tray that Toby's going to show you in a second. This is the final version. So the battery was mounted on the plate. When the battery slid into the car, it basically lined up with this, and that's where connection was made. This thing never failed. And that plate system, which started from Jerry, and then I went like a psychopath in Alan's garage for probably 3 months trying to perfect this system. We'd go out and we'd race, and it wouldn't work, and I'd come back and I'd make it better and make it better. We got to the point where finally Ron let us run in some of the big 25-minute mains at Vineland with that system. And some of you guys, we were chatting today about electric and how long the mains are, and if I want to run longer mains, I should run nitro and all that shit. Well, you guys know my opinion on that. But nonetheless, one of the best races I ever had was when I ran in a nitro race with my electric truggy. I ran a 25-minute race. I think we pit 3 times. And I think, we did top 5 or something like that. And after the race, Ron Borman, kind of gave me a high five. That was version number 1 with the soft pack and the aluminum strip. So that's basically just an aluminum bar that kept the battery in. You'd pull the pin, lift the bar up, grab the zip tie, yank the pack out, shove another pack in, and wait for it to boot up, lock it back in place. So on that, the final version, if Toby could play it again, basically I had machined 3 aluminum plates. A battery went on each plate, zip tied in permanently. I would charge them that way. And then when we came in for a pit, you would pull out the whole plate with the battery and pop a new one in, slide it and click it in, and then the truck would light up. Alan and I pit so fast one time that when he swapped the battery and threw it back down on pit ramp, he said to me, "Hit the gas." I said, "I've been hitting the gas. The ESC didn't boot up yet." So I think we pit in like 3 seconds or something like that. Boom. That was it. and we were off and running, and had so many good races with that in that truck. And then E-Truck started to come out and blah blah blah. But that was awesome history. And at the end of the day, I think at some point electric trucks or electric racing will move to that. There's some disagreement amongst the group, especially my co-host over here. But at the end of the day, I think it would be awesome if there was electric racing with pits. No reason why it can't happen. It's equally exciting with a pit man, pit time. I'm just going to throw this out there as I go to finish my story. Electric guys pay the same money as nitro guys. It's not a matter that we should run nitro. It's a matter that at this point in the race program and the race formula, we should get the same value as you guys do. And that's my point. So even if it's only A mains that are worthy of that extra run time, okay, you got to do well enough to get to that extra point. But anyway, that's my feeling on the whole topic. But I love nitro. Always have. A pit for plenty of guys. It's part of what makes the hobby, that smell, that sound, that feel. It'll never go away, or the excitement for it. But I think it's just a place where we all hang out together and support each other. And for me, that's what it's always been about, supporting my nitro friends. I just like some of my nitro friends to support electric a little bit more. That being said, the last couple of things that we're going to chat about are a few of the other tracks. And I probably bored Toby with that, but the next track that we were going to talk about is Tap. A couple minutes on Motorama and this video that we made back in the day for Hobby Masters and a bunch of us that were involved in going to Motorama and a couple of the other things. And then we got a brief thing on Trains and Lanes, which is the last track in the hemisphere. And Vinny's actually going to describe that, or we can actually jump to that when Toby comes back if you want, Vin. That way we'll keep you awake down the bottom, or if you want to mention any Facebook links, so on and so forth.
Yeah, GRC highlights saying this past weekend at the Exalt race, we just had someone run an E-Truggy run, 25-minute A main with the. Now, who was that? Was that Fuller?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. And then Braden Dommel was actually brought up Tap a while ago. So,
Toby's back. Yeah. You can cue the picture up a Tap when he gets a chance. Yeah, that race. I got to watch the video. I heard about it from Alan and a couple of other guys in the chat group we have. I can't wait to see it, but right there is a perfect example. Obviously, listen, electric guys want to race electric guys. We don't want to race nitro guys. We just want some more runtime, but nonetheless, that was really epic and cool, and definitely something memorable that hopefully makes an impact on the sport. So this is Tap Raceway, located in South Jersey. It was open, I think, I don't know, Toby, do you know? 2 years? 3 years?
Not very long.
So Tap was indoor. I think this guy George owned it. It was pretty good. A lot of the guys went there. It was like not too far off the highway, where Vineland would take you like 45 minutes the minute you got off the highway. So they had some good material, good layout, good group and turnout. I think the biggest problem in the beginning was they didn't have any bathroom. And then I don't think they couldn't get any permitting for it. And then, as usual, guys open tracks with no business plan and don't have a following. So that ended up closing. But I remember Sean O'Keefe went there and as he was racing a lot. And I remember Sean did this jump where he rode that wall on the left-hand side for probably about 40 feet. It was pretty wild. Anyway, that's Tap. Bunch of guys went there. Some guys might know about it, some don't, but just wanted to let you guys know this track was part of that group of other tracks that existed in New Jersey over the last 15 years that turned some people onto racing and kept others going and others not. So after we left Tap, we end up going to Motorama during all these times. So I've been in Motorama, I think, at least 15 years, I believe. Alan can correct me. It might even be 17. It's been a long time, but Motorama's been this awesome event that you look forward to every year. There's nothing else going on. It's February. You're freezing. You haven't run your car in months. We go there. Everybody hangs out for the weekend. Airbnb or a hotel, antics, silly season kind of fun. and always just this great thing. I don't have any pictures because that's not needed. Everybody knows what Motorama is. But from the beginning, when I started racing, Hobby Masters was my local store. Alan was a good friend of mine, and his shop used to sponsor me with bodies with their logo on them, and basically like help me out going racing sometimes. So that had been like a couple years, and there was a bunch of us in and out running for the store. So we created this video back in the time just to kind of support the group, and it used to run in the store. I thought it might be funny just to show it as a little part of RC. There's some guys in there like Jerry and Marshawn, Alan, his kid, and a bunch of racing pics from a bunch of different tracks. So if Toby can find it, we might play it. I don't think it has any music. Toby might run some music with it or
This
not.
is the shit. This is the Hobby Master one you talk about.
Yes, sir. Remember, this is a long time ago, a little cheesy, but nonetheless, it was at the time, and it was a lot of fun, and we were going out racing, and there was a group of us, kind of like a team, and that's it. It's good stuff.
You're gonna have to give me a minute because I am.
You got it.
Oh, I got it. Hang on 1 second.
He's got it.
This guy, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff here.
So most of the short course was Alan's son. The buggies and the truggies were me. There's a combination of like Station 5 up in New York near the barn, Motorama. There's Marshawn back in the day. He was racing with us. But they used to play this in the store for people coming in looking at, the hobby products. That's a great shot right there. That's Vineland. That's a level buggy there, boy. There was where I found Generation 1 picture. That was one of my favorite truggy shots. That's at the barn. It's funny how I remember. There's Alan 15 years ago.
Really?
Working on all of his son's stuff.
Huh.
Yeah, Alan supported his son. He didn't race back then at all. That's his son running again.
Cool.
Yeah.
Look at you.
There's me at the barn 15 years ago.
That's great hair.
Less gray hair. That's right. So, yeah, awesome stuff, man. That video was great. Racing with Marshawn and Jerry at the time, and Alan and his kid. You know, we had a good time. It was a lot of fun. Thank you, Hobby Masters, Alan, your family, for all that support back in the day. Without you and your store and those guys, I never would have gotten the hobby. That leads us to Trains and Lanes, y'all. So Trains and Lanes, as everybody knows, is one of the top 3 tracks in the Northeast, right? Barn's unique. It's big. It's wide. I would call the barn like this California kind of race style without the major elevation changes in between. But it's got that rhythm. It's got that fast pace. Trains and Lanes is just like it's like a different planet, right? The material is different. The elevation's different. It's just everything about it. And it's grown exponentially every year in terms of material, which just makes it awesome. So I'm going to hand it over to Vinny, and he's going to read a little history on Trains and Lanes, which is part of my my RC experience.
Yeah. T&L's been around for a long time. It opened in 1979. Okay, it was actually across the street from its current location, and it was an old chicken coop on the farm. So they turned that mainly into like a slot car track and a model train store. And then in the 80s, it moved to its current location. It was just, it was just what we know now as a slot car building. And again, slot car racing was the main attraction. And that was big then. And RC oval dirt racing began by the current road course track. And then in the 90s, it was prime time for the store, with it expanding to its current size, and the RC car picking up pace with dirt oval and triangle dirt off-road 10 scale track. And then the dirt oval hosted one of its biggest, if not the biggest, race in the country for many years. Racing would start around 5 p.m. and end around 4 a.m. with names like Joel Johnson and other pros coming out in attendance, which is pretty cool. And then the indoor carpet upstairs was a flat track oval, which later became a high bank oval, which I think Toby might have a video of. And while he looks for that, we'll keep going and talk about the 2000s. Racing slowly slowed down. Significantly, indoor RC tracks were removed and replaced with batting cages, but road course on road was still strong and picking up. And I guess in 2010, RC racing started to come back with 8-scale off-road racing and indoor 10-scale off-road carpet racing next to the batting cage. And then later in 2010s, Trains and Lanes 8-scale off-road became what it's known as it is today, thanks to Juan and Dwayne. I remember Juan being amazing, at Where to Water. He used to teach me a lot. Dwayne Karlowski, as we all know, was a major part of that. His son being a really talented racer as well. And then in the 2020s, getting to it, the indoor track, we finally, they agreed to let us take down the batting cage, and then we made the indoor track what it is today, which is absolutely huge. And just a reminder to everybody that I usually coach there on Tuesday. So tomorrow's my day to coach Trains and Lanes on the 10-scale indoor off-road track upstairs. And yeah, man, that's pretty much the history of TNL. Thank you to Brian Cruz for putting that together for me to read to you guys.
Yes, sir. Like Toby's little video he just played there. I mean, you just look at the layout. You can look at Barn. You can look at, any other track locally that's, Trains and Lanes. I would say basically it's got the horsepower in terms of layout. You're not missing anything when you go there. However, like I have a buddy of mine who's got new kids to go out. Like he's like, I'm going to Trains. I'm like, it's not really the place for novice. You know what I mean? So unfortunately, if you're new in the hobby, that's probably one of the toughest tracks to start at. It'll probably blow your mind by the time you leave there. But if you can get around that track without getting marshaled, you can probably race anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about the off-road track right now, is pretty.
Yeah.
It's pretty challenging. Yeah, could a novice get around it? Yeah, there's a little section in the back which is, you need some depth perception, no doubt. But right now, that 10-scale indoor off-road track is great for. I mean, I've been helping a lot of people get going on that, and you'll see like when you race that on the carpet, there's a lot of grip, so there's what's called corner speed, and once you find that corner speed, it builds up the coordination and gets you ready for outdoors again. So highly recommend it. Come see me if you guys want any coaching.
Yeah, man. Vinny, I heard you killed it the last race, buddy.
You did.
Which race are we talking about? I don't know about killed it, man. I was at Fall Brawl though.
Yeah, awesome. Fall Brawl. I want to say killed it like you took home the trophy, but for a guy who doesn't race and is always out there supporting his kids, you went out there, I think, raced 40 plus, and you did pretty damn good.
I had a great time, man. I was pitting with Alan Placer and Billy Pappenberg, and Billy, newer to the Associated chassis. Him and I just went back and forth, and I had such a good time working with him, and just our cars were dialed, man. I mean, he put his car in the show, like he was in the A mains, and never been to a big race like that. Man, Billy, like, all he's got to do is, Vin, let's go here. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm going. Let's go. Because we had such a good time together. And yeah, he too, he's very dialed in. I got to say, like, I'm really impressed with the feedback. I was like, try this. And we just went around. I tried tires, and then he just kind of went with my suggestion. And he was testing springs. So was I. So, we came up with a really good suspension package, and I actually put my setup for Fall Brawl on the So Dialed app. So if anyone's looking to go next year and you're running an AE car, there you go. You're ready to go. And yeah, thanks, Mike. Yeah, I did get the bump. That was awesome getting that bump. That was the highlight of my weekend, actually getting that bump. That was very cool. And then watching Billy kick butt was really cool. And then hanging out with Brandon Rose was also really cool. And then the team down there did really well. And the AE cars are just amazing. So yeah, great results by the team.
Yeah, Billy Papp is an amazing racer. That guy's just super talented overall. Anything his hands touch, music. He guy plays like 5 different instruments. I posted some videos throughout the year. I'll even post his Christmas video on YouTube that I post every year. He plays this just killer drum session with I think what is it, light orchestra, whatever it is. But just awesome. He's a great racer, good friend, and I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah, man.
So let's see. We're trying to wrap this up. What are we at? Hour 54. I'm going to wrap this thing up in 5 minutes. So I basically told everybody, without all of these tracks that we just reviewed, Trains and Lanes, Vineland, Barnstormers, TAP, Rhythm Raceway Now, without all these places for us to go and basically find a reprieve, a hideout, something to go hang out with our buddies and do friends, what's the alternative? Sitting at home, drinking, getting in trouble. You go out there, you create these relationships, you work on your stuff, you try to improve. If you're interested in racing, you want to focus on your racecraft and do better. And for a lot of us, we do. And for the other people that come out there, they don't care about their racecraft. They just want to escape, the doldrums of normal life. So RC is definitely a safe haven. So I have a little quick paragraph to read here, and that's going to be my summary. I hope you guys have enjoyed the interview with Lou. Super important for me to close out my involvement with the podcast with somebody as significant as Lou and his contributions. I wanted to finish it up with Vineland and the other ones, but between those two, I wouldn't be the same racer, and this podcast wouldn't exist. So, with a 20 plus years in the hobby of RC, I've been fortunate to meet a bunch of great people, a bunch of great track owners, RC enthusiasts. Create a track called Wall RC with a bunch of friends of mine in central New Jersey that at one time was actually good enough to rival Trains and Lanes and the Barn. We had some gigantic turnouts. We had awesome material, and we had a really great venue until we got shut down like lots of other tracks. 15 plus motoramas and counting. Last but not least, to band together with a group of misfits called the Northeast RC Racer Podcast. Not only racers, but now friends of mine, Toby, Tom, Vinny, with a mission to document the venues, the racers, and the history of the Northeast RC racing community. My most memorable episodes over the last 36 and the last 3 years that we've been doing this, which I was surprised every year we could keep it together. But my most memorable episodes by far were Justin Drinks, rest in peace, my man. Scotty Ernst, the RD legend. Benny Camerian, up and coming young gun, and his dad that just made me laugh the entire podcast. And this one right here with Lou and documenting Vineland with Ron and Linda. As getting Lou in the books was crucial since he is he's one of the last pioneers of his time in this hobby, as well as content on family hobbies, which were both my dojos for many years. As I host this last episode with my co-host here, I want to say thank you to all of you guys that have joined in monthly to watch the podcast over the last 3 years. Some of you maybe just catch the last couple episodes. Some of you maybe watched all along. But nonetheless, I really appreciate it. And I know my co-hosts agree the same. You guys have helped us grow. A huge thank you to Nitro Caddy, Dennis Brew. You're the man. I really appreciate your sponsorship, your friendship, and what you've done for this hobby in a short amount of time. EB Mods, Ed Bridges, you were our first sponsor. You hung there with us. I really appreciate that. We don't have many sponsors, but whatever you guys contributed made the difference, helped pay for the software, keep things going. And Cow RC, last but not least, for your support and your donations. Last but not least, Toby, thank you for saying yes when I called you with the idea for NERP, as I needed your tech skills to pull it off. And thank you for your sense of humor. Tom, I appreciate that, brother. Tom, for saying what the fuck. I'm retired. I got time. And Vinny, who cornered me at Trains and Lanes for a spot on the setup session on episode 9, who at the time read my mind, and it was perfect addition. Thank you, Vinny.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I will enjoy watching my mates here moving forward as they continue to document the tremendous group of racers and tracks that we are fortunate to have in the Northeast racing scene. We are lucky to have what we have. None of the tracks stay around without effort, without your participation. Club racing's gone. Hopefully it comes back. We're getting older. A lot of these stories and a lot of these tracks are transitioning now because, 15 years ago, I was 40, right? And so was Toby, and Ben was right around there. So the age group and going out every week for that club scene is obviously changed. But for me, that was like the most important thing, man. It was going to see Toby or Vinny or going with Alan, loading the truck up in the morning, heading to the track, setting up the tent, busting out the tables, and just like bullshitting across from each other. For me, I saw the downside a few years ago when trailers came out. Everybody went from the pit table inside the tent into their trailer by themselves. And then from there, it started to be bigger events. And then club racing just kind of fell apart, whether it was the tracks or just the time or the age group. But, these things all have a cycle. Maybe someday they'll come back again. In the meantime, there's great season openers that I'll be going to next year because I won't be doing as much individual racing, but I'm going to go to some big openers. I'm going to Tilt Yard again, Worlds, Toby, Vin. I want you guys to come. Had such a good time last year. And that's it. I'm not out of the scene. I'm just taking a step back from the podcast. And my mates here have invited me back in the future when it suits them well. Maybe I can fill in if somebody can't make it or if somebody bails out. I'm always happy to sit in third or fourth spot when I return. But I just want to say to both you guys and Tom, it has been a pleasure doing this podcast with you guys. And, sometimes we come to the game prepared and sometimes we don't. And a lot of people wouldn't know the difference because Toby does a great job on what he does. Vin does the same, and Tom, and we're able to pull it off. But I go through this big stressful period just to get up to the podcast. And for probably the first 15 or 20 episodes, I really had this beginning, difficulty. But after the first couple of minutes, it's like stepping into an old shoe. It's like getting back to racing when you haven't in a long time. Your friends make you feel welcome. And that's how I always feel when I come out here. So support these guys moving forward like I will. I actually never watched one of our podcasts because I'm always afraid to watch myself and make an opinion. But I'll be watching you mother effers in the future and sending critiques in. Toby's probably going to kick me off StreamYard. But anyway, I thank you guys, my mates, for believing in me and the idea, Toby, especially in the beginning, because I think we created something awesome. I know we documented lots of great things over the last 3 years, and I can't wait to see what you guys do over the time. And let's go racing, boys. Let's go racing.
Yeah, quick plug. 46 RC will be down at Tom's new track, the Rhythm RC Raceway down in I guess Vineland area, way down in Jersey. Anyway, I'll be there streaming that event on 27th for New Year's Eve race. So looking to be a big event. Tom's season open was insane, like 170 inches or something.
Yep.
So
awesome.
Check it out. There's a QR code on the screen there if you guys want to get a raffle ticket to win an Adam Drake AD4 with pipe. Shameless plug, but it goes a long way to helping me what I do, help pay my son when he helps me out. And for this specific waffle, I'm giving away 25% of the proceeds from the waffle to a charity that I like, which helps take care of cats and dogs and foster them and adopt them and stuff. So check it out, buy tickets, and win a big old nitro engine.
Sounds good. Your waffles are awesome, Tobe.
Appreciate it.
No
I
doubt.
think Mike Malone is looking to win it already in the comments. And thank you to David Allen. And also, Juwan Hunter saying First Date Hobbies, calling that out before. Nitro Mike, I'll be there around noon, and they're open till about 5. Just a couple things on the Facebook comments I wanted to point out.
Sweet.
All right.
Guys, it has been a pleasure. Thanks so much for hanging with me on this long last episode. Just wanted to get all those things in the books before I left. So many things I wanted to do. You can't fit them all in, but we do our best, and we got a bunch of awesome content. I can't wait to see what you guys come out with this next year. If you need help setting anything up or getting things prepped, you know I'm always here. Got your back. Otherwise, we'll definitely look forward to the next episode you guys are going to release for sure.
We're going to miss you, George. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate all your contributions and putting this whole thing together. I mean, it wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here once a month if it wasn't for you setting this whole thing up. And we all enjoy it. You know, we come together and we do this for everybody, for all our listeners and everybody that pays attention to us and, you know, supports us. It's awesome. And we definitely want to have you back on, not only as a fill-in, but maybe like, you know, every holiday episode or something. We'll figure something out, but definitely would love to see you come back and be involved. But at the same time, congratulations on moving forward in your life and everything you have going on. You got a lot of good things going on, and we're nothing but happy for you. But definitely, open arms to come back and join us, because it's been a blast.
Awesome, man. For sure. You guys have made this appointment every month worthwhile.
Awesome.
Toby, my right-hand man, thank you so much for everything, man. You know, you and I were acquaintances at racing, and I'm proud to call you a friend. I know we don't communicate much, but you are a friend of mine. So
cool, man.
Look forward to hanging, and I think we're all crashing potentially at Motorama, so get drunk with you in a couple of weeks.
Absolutely. Take care.
Everyone, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, share, post, tell a friend. You're watching the Northeast RC Racer podcast. Let's go racing, boys, in 2026. We'll see you at the track.
See you guys.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays. And thanks to all the comments and everybody. Braden Dommel, David Longecker, everybody commenting at the end there. Thank you all. And I'll see you guys soon.
Peace.